In this part of the course, we want to talk a little bit about our human resource practices. So what are some of the things that we do as a part of our everyday business in human resources to make sure that we are advancing equity, inclusion, and diversity from the hiring process to the pre-hiring process, the hiring process, to making sure that folks are clear about how to advance within the organization, and then how do we monitor and reward supervisors and managers around our equity, inclusion, and diversity goals. And so it's important for us to spend some time talking about those practices. And there are a few areas that I'd like for us to kind of think about. The first being our hiring practices. So how do we engage people in the process? Are we doing that in an equitable way? Are we doing that in accordance to our goals, right? How do we construct interview panels? Is that a formal process? Is that an informal process? How is that process aligning itself with our goals and objectives in terms of equity, inclusion, and diversity? And then how do we evaluate a candidate? Do we have a rubric, a metrics? Do we have predetermined conversations about what fit is? And then how do we provide for employees that have been with us? How do we provide transparent performance evaluations and feedback so that they are clear about what it takes to get to that next level, right? To advance their careers. And then lastly, how do we use our benefits system to be inclusive? So do we have benefits that folks would want to access, particularly those folks who are not in the majority culture or don't find themselves in the majority? And so when we think about those things, it's important to recognize that in this activity that I'm going to ask you to do next is really analyze those aspects as we think about kind of some of our human resource processes. And so in the activity below, we're going to ask you to critically think about some of those things. What might be some gaps? What might be some interventions? What might be some things you could do to help us be more effective in our human resource practices as we seek to advance equity, inclusion, and diversity? So I'm going to stop right here. I really appreciate your opportunity to be with us, and we look forward to seeing who you become as we seek to advance equity, inclusion, and diversity. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next session.